I hope these questions and answers will be beneficial to your practice. So I would like to share 3 questions and 3 answers with you. Number 1 question, Venerable Master Sayadaw, if noting, sitting, when one is sitting, serves one's purpose, why is one instructed to note rising, falling when one is sitting? Of course, it serves one's purpose to note sitting when sitting. But if one observes a single kind of object for long, it will become so easy that he may lose balance from little energy and too much concentration. This will result in sloth, in torpor, in shallow or weak awareness. That is why one is instructed to observe rising and falling as a main object when one is sitting. From the book named The Discourse on Silavanda Sutta by Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw. Number 2 question, Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw, how does a yogi keep the balance between concentration and energy by noting rising and falling? Noting rising and falling demands neither too much concentration, as it is not a monotonous kind of object, nor excessive enthusiasm, as it is only 2 types of object to note. Thus, the balance can be kept between concentration and energy. From the book named The Discourse on Silavanda Sutta by Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw. Number 3 question, Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw, what is the purpose for the alternate reception of 1 hour sitting and 1 hour walking in practice? Too much walking tends to arouse more energy but less concentration. It may harm one's health. So one is scheduled to sit and walk alternately an hour each. Thus, the balance can be kept between concentration and energy. From the book named The Discourse on Silavanda Sutta by Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw. Now I will continue last night Dhamma talk. Now you hear me talking, you hear one sound after another. Once you have heard them, they are gone. Listen, sound sound. When I say sa, you hear it, then it is no more. When I say out, you hear it, then it is gone. That is how they come and pass away. The same is true of other psychophysical phenomena. They come and go. Seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, thinking, bending, stretching, moving, all come and go away because they keep passing away, so we say they are impermanent. Of these, the passing away of consciousness is very clear. If your mind wanders when you are noting, rising, falling, you note wandering. As you notice, the wandering mind is no more. It is gone. It has not existed before. It comes about just then it is gone in no time at all when noted. So we say it is impermanent. The passing away of unpleasant feelings too is obvious. As you go on noting, rising, falling, tiredness, hotness, or pain appears somewhere in the body. If you concentrate on it, sometimes it disappears completely. Sometimes it disappears at least for the time you are noting. So it is impermanent. The meditator realizes its impermanent characteristic as he notes its rising and passing away. This realization of the fleeting nature of things is contemplation of impermanence, mere reflection without personally experiencing it is no true knowledge. Without meditation, you will not know what things come up and what things pass away. It is just book learning. It may be a meritorious deed, but not real inside knowledge. Real inside knowledge is what you know for yourself by meditating on things as they come up and pass away. Beginners may not have such clear knowledge yet. It is not quite easy, but it is not too difficult to achieve either. If you work hard enough, as we instruct, you can have it. If you don't, you can't. Occupational degrees, distinctions, honors are all results of hard work. No pain, no gain. The inside knowledge of the Buddha, too, must be worked for. As your concentration grows sharper, you will be able to see a great number of thoughts in one single act of bending or stretching of the limbs. You will see large numbers of thoughts coming up one after another as you intend to bend or stretch. The same number when you step. There arises a great number of thoughts in the twinkling of an eye. You have to note all these fleeting thoughts as they arise. If you cannot name them, just note, aware, you will see that there are 4, 5, or 10 thoughts rising in succession every time you note aware. Sometimes, when the awareness is so swift, even the word aware is no longer necessary. Just following them with your intellect will do. Now a thought arises. Now the mind is aware of it. Now another arises. Now the observant consciousness is aware of it. For every thought that arises, there is the observant consciousness to be aware of it. When you are thus aware, these risings and passings away cannot but be very plain to you. The wandering mind that arises when you are noting the rising and falling of the abdomen is caught by the observing consciousness, as an animal that falls direct into the snare, or an object that is hit by a well-aimed stone. And once you are aware of it, it is gone. You find it as clearly as if you were holding it in your hand. You find that whenever consciousness arises, when tiredness arises, you note tired, and it is gone. It comes up again, and it is gone again. This kind of passing away will be made all the more clear in higher stages of insight. Tired, noted, gone. Tired, noted, gone. They pass away one by one. There is no connection between one tiredness and the next. The same with pain. Pain, noted, gone. Pain, noted, gone. Each pain is gone at each noted. One pain does not mix with the other. Each pain is distinct from the other. To ordinary people, there is no awareness of interruption in tiredness or pain. It seems to tire or pain you continuously for a long time. In fact, there is no tiredness or pain for a long time. One tiredness in the next, one pain in the next. Just very short pieces, very separate ones. The meditator sees this as he notes. When you note rising, the rising comes up gradually and passes away by degrees. When you note falling, the falling comes up and passes by degrees. Common people who are ignorant of this fact think of the rising and falling in terms of the abdominal shape. So, from their own experience, they think meditators too will only be seeing the abdominal shape. Some make accusation to this effect. Don't speak by guess, please. Try and see for yourself. If you work hard enough, you will find out. When you know bending, you see clearly how it moves in passes. One move after another. You understand how the scriptural statement that realities like mind and matter do not move from place to place. Ordinary people think it is the same hand that moves that has been before the bending. They think the same hand moves inwards and outwards. To them, it is ever unchanging hand. It is because they have failed to see through the continuity of matter. The way matter rises in succession, it is because they lack in the knowledge to see through. Impermanence is hidden by continuity. It is said. It is hidden because one does not meditate on what rises and passes away. Says Visuddhimagga, because the rise and fall are not attended to. The characteristic of impermanence does not appear as long as it is hidden by continuity. Since the meditator is watching every arising, all things, mental and material, appear to him as separate, broken pieces. not as things whole and unbroken. From a distance, ants look like a line, but when you get nearer, you see the ants one by one. The meditator sees things in broken pieces, so continuity cannot hide the fact from it. The characteristic of impermanence unfolds itself to him. He is no longer illusioned. But when the rise and fall are grasped and continuity is broken, the characteristic of impermanence appears in its true peculiar property. This is how you meditate and gain the knowledge of contemplation on impermanence. Mere reflection without meditation will not give rise to this knowledge. Once this knowledge is made become, those on suffering in non-self follow. To one Meghiya who has perceived impermanence, the perception of non-self is established. How will you take what you very well know to be capable of rising and passing away, to be self, ego, a being? People cling to the self because they think they have been the same person the whole life. Once it is clear to you from your own experience that life is but made up of things that rise and pass away incessantly, you will not cling as self. Some obstinate persons say that this sutta is meant for Meghiya alone. This is something that should not be said. We fear others will come up who will say what the Buddha said was meant for the people of his days, not for us who live today. But the statement is found not in that sutta alone. In Sambodhi Sutta, the Buddha says, to one monk who has perceived impermanence, the perception of non-self is established. And if one realizes impermanence, one realizes suffering too. The meditator who realizes how things are rising and passing away can see how the two events, rising and passing away, have been oppressing him. The commentary to Sambodhisutta says, when the characteristic of impermanence is seen, the characteristic of not self is seen too, since when one of the three characteristics is seen, the other two are seen too. In this sentence, when the characteristic of impermanence is seen, the characteristic of non-self is seen too. Since when one of the three characteristics is seen, the other two are seen too. The characteristic of impermanence is used as Pali language anicca lakkhana. The characteristic of non-self in Pali usage anatta lakkhana. Lakkhana means characteristic. Anatta means non-self. Anicca lakkhana. Lakkhana means characteristic. Anicca means impermanence. Anicca lakkhana means characteristic of impermanence. The three characteristics are characteristic of impermanence, characteristic of suffering, characteristic of non-self. If the yogi sees one of the three characteristics, his knowledge is vipassana knowledge. If the yogi sees one of the three characteristics, he will also see the other two characteristics also. So it is very important to understand the one characteristic of impermanence. If the yogi understands the one characteristic of impermanence, he will also understand the characteristic of suffering and the characteristic of non-self. Now, the yogis are practicing vipassana meditation. If you practice this vipassana meditation, you will be able to see characteristic of impermanence, characteristic of suffering, and characteristic of non-self. The stronger concentration you have, the more clear you can see these characteristics. If you see these characteristics by stage of insight knowledge, finally you will attain Magga Jnana Palanyana path knowledge and fruition knowledge in Nirvana. May all of you be able to attain Nirvana by developing the knowledge of the three characteristics of impermanence, characteristic of suffering, and characteristic of non-self.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.